can edit it.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Thomas G. Coley,
Good to be here.
our new regional president here at HCC. The Men's Center invited you here today to focus on leadership, and we had a couple questions on how you view leadership and the position you are in today. Just a couple questions. So
11, I thought.
Just a couple. The question number one: what was your first leadership experience of your life, and how would you describe it?
My first leadership. Probably the one I share with you is that when I was just finishing undergraduate school, and I decided to go and see if I wanted to be a Marine Corps officer. And so I signed up to go to Quantico, Virginia, in which I started doing officers training. And I was given what they call a billet. That means I was given an assignment, and I had my crew, and we had to clean the restroom. That was the billet. And so my style was say, okay guys, we know what we need to do, let's go and clean this. Which we did. And which I thought I was easygoing style. And so the sergeant came in, and he got this close to my nose and started, what is wrong with you? This is not right. You didn't get these guys to do anything, blah, blah. Just went on. And the idea was that what he was saying is that maybe you got them to do some things, but did you really get them to maximize their ability to do the job right, where you were in control of the situation, where you work with them? And so that was my real lesson in that as a leader, you have to begin to work to help people to maximize their abilities and their skill sets. But at the same time, if you don't do it, or if you do it, if it goes wrong, you are responsible, not the crew. You have to step up and take responsibility for it, which is what I had to do in that situation. He didn't go yell at the other guys. It was my responsibility. I was the leader. And so it was an early lesson about how do you take responsibility, how do you work with people, get them to do maybe some things they wouldn't ordinarily do by themselves and get them to maximize their skill sets, and that's part of leadership.
Question number two: is your ability to lead getting easier or more difficult as you evolve as a leader, and why?
I don't know if it's easier or harder. I think that there's times when you have to make some tough decisions, particularly decisions that affects other people and their lives. The hardest thing in this job is that when you have to make a decision whether someone is going to lose their job and be fired, and you have to sit there and tell them, you can't just send them a note saying, hey, I wish you well and all of that. You want to, particularly when you're budget cuts and things of that nature, and and they're losing their job not because, well, I have fired people because they didn't do their job, but particularly when someone, it's because of the budget. And you have to really, you just can't just simply mail it in. You have to sit down and talk to them, and that's tough. I mean, I can feel my quiver in my voice at times because it's just really hard to look someone in the eye and say you do not have a job.
Especially when you have a good relationship.
Yeah, and if you care about people, I mean, these are not, I always say that being in administrative jobs and leadership jobs, you have to question, particularly when you have to make decisions, hard decisions, you have to question why you're in the job. Because if you're in there because of power, things of that nature, I would think give second thought before I would say that you were the kind of person to be in the job. Because you got to have some kind of empathy, some kind of concern for people in the jobs, particularly in these kinds of jobs and higher ed where you're here serving people. You have to see yourself as more of a servant, and so you have to take these decisions very seriously, very personally.
Pretty reasonable. Question number 3. What have your successes as a leader taught you about yourself?
Sort of along the lines, I care about what I do. I care about people. That there are times I'm afraid, or that the tension and all can get to you, and I have to learn how to deal with that and still be effective because everyone is counting on you. So I can't fall apart. I can't. Oh my God, what are we doing? You have to set the tone and direction, no matter what you're feeling inside. But you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself too when you feel you haven't lived up to your expectations, because you don't always live up to your expectations, and you have to accept that. And there was a time in my life I thought I knew just about everything, and I was the smartest person in the room. And I've learned over time that if I think I know everything, I'm probably in trouble, and I need to step back. So I had to learn that about myself.
Question number 4. What book or books have influenced your leadership abilities, philosophy, and in what way?
I've read so many leadership books. There's not one book. The one book that when I was really going through, it was in graduate school, trying to discern what the heck I'm doing. I was reading this book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Persick. And really, it gave me a word that I carry around, is that gumption traps. And gumption traps are things that can get in your way and get you down. And they're always there. It's always something to throw a monkey wrench into what you want to do. And what you have to keep in mind is that you have to persevere no matter what. One of the greatest things in being successful is that you have to have tenacity. And that is that no matter how bad or how good, you're going to be there and you're going to push forward. You're not going to take yourself out of the game. You're going to always be there as a player.
Question 5. If you could be a famous leader for a day, who would you be and why?
I haven't thought about that one. I don't know. I mean, I'll take a soft one. Probably Obama, I guess. I really haven't thought about it. I only think of his style. It seems to be easygoing and very smart. And I've met him a couple of times before he was president. Just happened to be in D.C. and he was getting out of the cab, and a couple of people who I was with, we rode up the elevator with him and just talking. He's just easygoing. So I always wish I was easygoing as a leader and being able to talk to people. I'm pretty quiet and reflective and all of that. So if I could exude that kind of leadership style and be able to be as effective and successful as he's been, I think that would be great.
I could agree. Obama's very poised. Very.
Yeah.
Question 6. What is your purpose in life and how does it tie into how you lead?
I have to be honest, there are times I wonder whether I had a purpose. It just seemed like I've just been going from one thing to the other because of interest, not without a game plan. But I think that in terms of doing the kind of jobs I've been in, at least the job I'm in now, goes back to what I said, when you care about people and wanting to be successful. I'm a first generation college goer. I come from very humble beginnings. And so I appreciate what it takes to struggle and be successful. And so my job, if I've made a difference, I will continue to make a difference, particularly in this job, is that I've used whatever skill sets I have and to help others be successful, help this college be successful. Being able to absorb what I know is going to be a lot of challenges, and but still help everyone to move forward. That's my purpose.
7. What do you do to stay inspired as a leader?
I don't think when I do things that I see begins to make a difference, because sometimes it's hard to see that. That's inspiring. I try to keep myself physically shaped. though I've been falling off the apple cart a bit, just, but staying physically active keeps me going, keeps me motivated. But I think that probably the most inspiring thing is graduation, when people walk across the stage, particularly when I've interacted with them during the year and seeing them, go through, walking down the hall, and they're seeing me going through my gyrations of just, we all have been going through the year, and, graduation, and you see the success they made it, and I talk about tenacity, that people, they stuck it out, despite all the challenges. You can't help but be inspired by that, and you show up next year trying to keep it going. It's hard. I'll have an event that will take me to 8 o'clock tonight when I go on, and tomorrow is another event late at night. So like I said, I try to exercise one. If I lose physical discipline, I'll lose mental discipline, and then that's when those things get out of sort, then begin to question yourself and doubt yourself and all that kind of stuff. So I try to keep all that in balance. So you have to carve out the time, and and give yourself a pep talk that, like last night, I had to keep myself, you will go to spinning class, you will be there, and I really didn't feel like being there. But it's the only time I could do it was 6 o'clock, so that's where I was. And so you have to make sure you keep pushing yourself to do it. It's not easy, but you do have to, I don't know if it's balanced, but you have to find things outside of work to keep you going. And I wish I had more hobbies and things of that nature, but I don't, so I have to work on that part.
Well, that things to work out. Question 9. It is often said that leaders are individuals who make ordinary people do extraordinary things in the face of adversity. What does this mean to you, and does it apply for you as a leader?
I hope I could do that. That's probably a question somebody else have to say, did Dr. Coley ever do that for you? No, but I have been fortunate that people have come back to say how the decision I made, or actions, or just conversation has made a difference in where they are, and I kept them going, and so I've been fortunate over the years to have those moments, and so I feel good about that. So I leave it to others to say how much I've done or not, but at least I've had those moments where people have commented about the impact I've had on their lives.
What success factors contribute most to your ability to lead?
One, as I said earlier, you have to really care about what you're doing, care about wanting to make a difference on what just not showing up, and to put in the time, and that's basically it.
What 3 things would you recommend that leaders do to maintain a positive attitude?
1, understand why they're doing what they're doing, and do it for the right reason. Not be hard on themselves when things do not go the way they want them to do, to realize that's part of life. And probably back to the earlier question, really find the balance in life. Life is short, and these jobs are important, but they're not everything. And others can come in the next day and do what you want, but you do the best you can, find your balance, and lead the day, lead the job, feeling that you've done your best to make a contribution, and hope others will feel that you have.
Thank you. Thank you for the great gestures and the great conversation.
Sure.
Good to have you, Dr. Coley, today.
Thank you. Say your name again for me.
Ludwig. Yeah.
Ludwig? Okay, thank you. Great questions.